So we discussed that coreless induction furnace. So it is a simple furnace with the absence of core. It is the in this furnace heat developed in the charge due to eddy current flowing through it. The furnace consists of a refractory, uh, refractory or ceramic cubical cylinder in shape enclosed within a coil that forms a primary of the transformer. The furnace also contains a conducting or non-conducting container that acts as a secondary. If the container is made up of conducting material, charge can be non-conducting or conducting. Whereas if the container is made up of non-conducting material, the charge taken should have a conducting property. When primary coil are excited by a alternating source, the flux is set up by this coil induce eddy current in the charge. So the direction of the resultant eddy current is in the direction of opposite current in the primary coil. Coreless induction furnace, this current hits the charge to melting point and they also set up the electromagnetic forces that produce a steering action to the charge. In coreless furnace, the flux density will be low as there is no core, hence the primary supply should have high frequency for a compensating the low flux density. If it is operating a high frequency due to the skin effect, what is the skin effect? Actually, the skin effect is nothing but the tendency of an alternating current concentrated the near surface of the conductor. That is called the skin effect. First of all, it is a in the form of conductor. It is always occurring a conductor, that is skin effect. We can say that skin effect. So we use standard conductor to reduce the skin effect, that like ACSR, ALSR, aluminum conductor, steel reinforced. This type of conductors we use for uh, for the skin skin effect. Okay, so it results a copper loss, thereby increasing the temperature of primary winding. So coreless induction furnace. This is the coreless induction furnace, that is primary winding, and here charge is present. Here is the same cubicle is there, and here coreless induction furnace. Followings are the advantages of coreless furnace over the other furnace. Is the ease of control. Oxidation is reduced as the time taken to reach that melting temperature is less. The eddy current in the charge itself result in a automatic steering. The cost is less for the erection and operation. It can be used for heating and melting. Any safe cubicle can be used. It is a suitable for intermediate operation. So now come to a new topic, that is a very good topic, that is called as dielectric heating. Okay, so it is also called as a high frequency heating, high frequency high frequency capacitive heating, and is used for heating insulator like bad conductors like wood, plastic, and ceramic, etc., which cannot be heated easily and uniform by other methods. The supply frequency required for dielectric is between 10 to 50 megahertz and applied voltage is up to 20 kV. The overall efficiency of dielectric heating is about 50%. So dielectric metal, what is this? Actually the dielectric metal, the material which stores the electrical energy, are known as a dielectric material. All dielectric are insulator, but all insulating material are not dielectric. Okay, so dielectric loss, what is this dielectric loss? See here, the phenomenon is the dielectric loss is that, what is this dielectric loss? What is this? Actually, it is the dielectric loss when a particle capacitor is connected across the AC supply. It draws a current which leads the voltage by an angle phi, which is the little less than 90 degree or falls short of 90 degree by an angle del. So that means here we will discuss that. See, this is the what dielectric loss figure. Okay, all are the, we consider that that is dielectric loss. So here slab, and the figure A shows that slab is there, and the slab can here both side. That means here in this, both side of the slab it is connected with a supply voltage. Okay, and suppose in the form of you are taking as a RC parallel. Okay, R and C is parallel here. R and C is parallel. I is the current flowing through that, and it is divided into two current. That is, in case of R it is IR. In case of capacitor it is IC. So dielectric loss. What is this dielectric loss? The figure V. V is always in the respect of IR. Okay, in phase of IR, and here total angle is 90 degrees. So I and V are with an angle phi. From I to IC the angle is del. So we can say that phi plus del is equal to 90 degree. Can we say? Yeah, can we say phi plus del is equal to 90 degree? So now here back to the point that here 5 plus 9, or we can say the IR is equal to supply voltage is V. So V is equal to IR into R, and IC, that is the capacitive current. So BC is equal to, we can set the IC into XC. So what is this XC? XC means, what is that? XC means capacitive reaction. That is XC is equal to 1 by omega C. That is 1 by 2 pi FC. We can say that XC is inversely proportional with frequency. Okay. So dielectric loss, power drawn from supply is equal to VI cos phi, and your IC is equal to your I V by XC. Here it is written. So V by XC means XC, in case of XC we put 1 by 2 pi FC. So it is 2 pi FCV. So P is equal to VI cos phi. We know that it is active power. We consider the P is equal to VI cos phi. So V, in case of I we put here 2 pi FCV cos phi. So it is around P is equal to 2 pi FCV square cos phi. So now the point is that here it is a cos phi. Okay. So this, what is this phi? So phi is equal to your, we can set a phi plus del is equal to 90 degrees. So phi is equal to 90 minus del. So cos del is equal to, so you can take as a cos phi is equal to cos 90 minus del. Okay, that means cos phi is equal to, you can say it is a sin del. Okay, so whereas del is very small as compared to the radian, so we can neglect the del. Okay, so we get the P is equal to 2 pi FCB square del. That is the final formula. Okay, and we know that what is this C? What is the C actually? C is nothing but epsilon 0 into epsilon R A by D. That is called as a C. So C is equal to epsilon 0 into epsilon R A by D. So we can put easily there C value in power formula, but is P is equal to 2 pi FC B square del. In case of C, we can put C value epsilon 0 into epsilon R A by D. A is nothing but area. B is nothing but the distance between the two parallel plate of the capacitors, and epsilon 0 is nothing but permittivity of free space, and epsilon R is nothing but relative permittivity. So what is this actually? C is equal to epsilon 0 is equal to 8.554 into 10 to the minus 2. Is the value, standard value of epsilon 0, permittivity of free space. What is this epsilon R? Epsilon R is nothing but is a relative permittivity. Epsilon R is equal to 1. So we get the, what is the advantages of dielectric heating. So since heat is generated with the dielectric medium itself, it results uniform heating. Heating becomes a faster with a increasing frequency, and heating becomes a faster with a increasing frequency. It is the only method for the heating a bad conductors of heat. Heating is fastest in the method of heating, since no naked flame appears in the process of inflammable like plastic and wooden potato etc. can be heated safely. Heat can be stopped immediately as and when desired. So this is the advantages. What is the disadvantages? That high installation cost is there. So preferred where other method are not possible. What is the application? The main thing is the application here. What are the application is that? So food processing, wood processing, drying purpose in textile industry, electronic sewing, dehydration of food, vulcanized rubber, drying explosive, heating of a tissue and bones of body required for treatment of certain types of pains and disease, removal of moisture from oil. These are the application of the dielectric heating. Next, we'll discuss about microwave heating. So up to this, we discussed dielectric heating.